Guys, it's 2021, so nothing should surprise you anymore. But Ilhan Omar came out with yet another doozy, and my father has some commentary on it. So you're going to want to listen to this one, okay? Ilhan Omar says it's an act of terrorism for Israel to defend itself from Hamas rocket attacks. So we are clear. Israel is committing an act of terror, apparently, by retaliating against what is an American and European Union designated terror organization, shooting rockets into Israel and cities and civilian locations. 150 missiles went out starting on Monday night from a terror organization, and a congresswoman from Minnesota, Ilhan Omar, which shouldn't surprise us given some of the other things she said about Israel and the general anti-Semitic tropes that she's had, thinks it's an act of terror for them to defend themselves from missile strikes. So she says, quote, Israeli airstrikes killing civilians in Gaza is an act of terrorism. Palestinians deserve protection. Unlike Israel, missile defense programs such as the Iron Dome don't exist to protect Palestinian civilians. It's unconscionable not to condemn these attacks on the week of Eid. She said this Monday afternoon in a tweet. The Israelis need the Iron Dome because their enemies, terror organizations like Hamas, shoot missiles into their neighborhoods, Ilan. Again, U.S. and the European Union have designated Hamas as a terror organization, okay? They've issued ultimatums to Israel to remove troops from mosques that were there to quell the violent riots that happened over the weekend. But when the terrorists shoot missiles at your civilians, you're not supposed to do anything. Now, there are some casualties, and that's terrible. But we've also known that some of these terror organizations, they literally shoot missiles from civilian locations to use those civilians, their people that they're supposed to be representing, as actual cover so that they can't retaliate. That's how sick this is. That's how absolutely insane this tweet is. Ilhan Omar accused Israel in another tweet on Sunday of committing ethnic cleansing because of the legal battles to put Israelis back into some developments that were theirs prior to being removed by the Jordanians in the 1948 war. So you see what's going on in the Middle East? It's a mess. And my father put out a statement from the office of the 45th President of the United States. Part of it reads, when I was in office, we were known as the Peace Presidency because Israel's adversaries knew that the United States stood strongly with Israel. President Donald Trump. And he's right. We did. And our enemies didn't mess with our allies because they knew we would have their backs. When you create the kind of commentary that Ilhan Omar has, when you create that kind of tension, when Israel's stepping in and saying, hey, maybe stay out of this thing. When you create that gap, our enemies see that gap and they target it. They go after it because they see the weak link and they're going to exploit it. And that's what Joe Biden and the Democrats' weakness and appeasement policies to terror organizations like Hamas have gotten us. So, again, Donald Trump was right. He got peace deals done in the Middle East that everyone thought was literally impossible. It was the holy grail of geopolitical politics for decades. He did it. Wake up, folks. Wake up. It's only going to get worse.